It's not just a children's book, it's a collection of history wrapped up in every letter of the alphabet. Does it have all of the Virgin Islands history in this one book? Of course not. Does it ignite the fire in your children who want to learn more about the Virgin Islands? Absolutely. This is the VI version of the ABCD song. And if you're from the Virgin Isles, why don't you sing along? Let's learn about our cultural history, then pass it to your kin. Let's teach the youth. Hey, IGC family, welcome to the party. So, this week is launch week for H's for Heritage and History. If you're new here, that is book 2 in the VS for Virgin Islands ABC series. Now, I know it's been a minute, y'all, so let's catch up everybody who has not been around, right? So, I'm the founder, Lavelle, of Gurl Chronicles, which was a blog that I started in 2017. In 2019, I published my first children's book, ta-da! VS for Virgin Islands, The Vibrant Place That I Call Home, Book 1, A Cultural Journey. So when I did that book in 2019, I said, you know what? I want to do an entire series on this. So I said I'm going to do Book 1, A Cultural Journey, Book 2, A Historical Journey, which is the one we're talking about today, and then Book 3, A Flavorful Journey, that will probably come out in 2026. But we're not there yet. We are here today to talk about H's for Heritage and History, which is here. Woo! I'm hiding my book for myself, y'all. Oh, she's finally here, y'all. So let's talk about launch week. Let's talk about all the things that are happening, and let's make sure that you're staying connected with VS for Virgin Islands and the ABC series. So, what is launch week? Launch week means that you are taking the journey with me during this week as I publish this book live on Amazon. Now, some of you might have already done a pre-order on my website, islandgirlchronicles.com, but this week is the actual week that the book is going to go live. Fingers crossed if there is nothing that is wrong with the version that I submit to Amazon. Now, I like to do it as a whole party, so y'all are invited to the party, so y'all gonna be with me through the ups and downs of launch week. But everything is in place, so hopefully it all goes smoothly, and we are launching during launch week. But it usually takes about 3 days or so for somebody to read the book, approve it, publish it on the website. So that's why I say it's launch week. It's not just launch day. Sometimes it's faster depending on how soon they get to it. But we're going to launch during this week, okay? Y'all put it out in the atmosphere that this book is launching during this week because that's what we want to happen. Launch week starts today, June 16th, but you've probably seen me posting from since last week because the original launch date was June 9th, but I had to push things up a little bit because there were some things that I was waiting on and some edits that need to be happening. If you follow me on Instagram or Facebook, you probably saw all the updates, so you knew what was happening behind the scenes. If you are not following me on social media, why are you not following me? I'm at Island Girl Chronicles everywhere. Make sure you are following me to stay tuned to what's happening with this series and any other series that I'm working on. So for our launch week, we're going live on Amazon. We'll have giveaways. So at the end of the week, if you are sharing and commenting and liking, your name is being entered into a giveaway. For the end of the week, we'll pull one name who gets a free book from me. And then I'll be sharing more about the book all week long. So in this video series, you'll see at least 3 videos that are going to come out this week that I'm going to introduce you to the book. I'm going to talk about the companion guide that always goes with my VS for Virgin Islands books. And then I'm going to share a little bit more about the journey of what the book was about and who it's dedicated to. So be sure you're subscribed to my channel, you're following the event, or you are on my social media channel so that you can see what's happening all week long during launch week. All right, so who is this book for? Well, it's for everybody. People like to say it's for everybody, right? Well, no. So when I did VS for Virgin Islands Book 1, right, that book was designed and it's very specifically for our young learners who are learning how to read. So like kindergarten, first grade, second grade. And that's why it's designed that way. Like the letters are bigger so that they can have that letter recognition. Some of the elements in the book are specifically designed for them to see certain things or elements, like what starts with the letter B. And on page B, there's like boats, and they're in different colors like blue and black. So it's about getting the kids to learn how to read, getting them to interact with the book. So that was book 1. This one is designed for our 3rd grade and up. Right? So this one, they're actually reading the book. They're actually engaging with the pages. There's more stuff in here for the 3rd graders. And these are things that they can retain. History about the Virgin Islands. So we'll get into more of the pages of the book later in the week. But this book, again, is geared to a third graders and up who know how to read, and they want to get, or you want to get them more engaged in Virgin Islands history. If you're anything like me, who is a mom who does not currently live or reside in the Virgin Islands, but you want to make sure that your kids have a little bit of knowledge about where their parents come from, a little bit of knowledge about where their family comes from, and you have not been able to find a Virgin Islands history book that does that for you, that's why this was created. Right? So you don't have to be in the Virgin Islands. Your kids can live in the States, and you can get them a copy of HS for Heritage and History, and you will be sharing about your Virgin Islands history with them in this book. All right, so how do you get an entry into the free giveaway? Now, I would love for you to buy the book, especially during launch week, especially when it's live on Amazon, because you're going to help me to get my numbers up on Amazon. You'll help me to get to the #1 spot during launch week on that list. But if you want to still be entered into the giveaway, you can. Here's how to enter. So any real story posts that I share on my social media channels that are related to the book, you get a free entry into the giveaway that's going to happen at the end of the week. So if I do a story, you get a free book and you share it. Well, let me back up. If I do a story, a reel, a post, and you share it on your social media channels, that's a free entry into the contest. I am excited, y'all, and I hope y'all are excited as me, especially for those of you who have pre-ordered on my website. All these little fun things that I have ordered to put in your little mailers are like, it's giving me goosebumps. All right, so it's launch party week. I hope you are excited as I am. Make sure you stay tuned for the rest of the week as we get more into this book, you get more into this series, and I want you to always remember to keep reading about V is for Virgin Islands. This is the VI version of the ABCD song. And if you're from the Virgin Isles, why don't you sing along? Let's learn about our cultural history, then pass it to your kin. Let's teach the youth.